Alright guys, welcome to the channel and welcome to a brand new series which I'm calling CAWForge. As you can see, today we're looking at Adam Cole. Having just debuted in NXT, he is one of the most requested superstars that I've had in the past month or so, and I've already made him this year, but I decided to go back to the drawing board with him, creating from scratch so that I could share with you the creation process. Now, I don't think I've ever seen anyone sort of time-lapse a core before, so I decided to start from scratch, so from the very basic moveset guide that we start with in the core mode, and really work through the whole process and try and capture it, speed it up for you guys so that you can see it from start to finish, and try and give some hints and tips along the way. Now with this channel I would love to share some tutorials with you guys, so if I can help in any way, leave a comment below and just let me know what you'd like to see, and I'll do my best to try and cover off what I can in the best way that I possibly can. So we're starting off here with the face photo texture. This stage it's really not about the way that the core, the 3D model looks, it's just about lining up the texture with those points, making sure that we're in the perfect position so that when you come to sculpt the head, you come to do that 3D modeling, everything lines up and it's all in the right place, because if you don't get that step right, everything else kind of falls apart. So we match up the skin texture, and then it's a case of going into the core and starting to play around with the facial features to try and get it to look a little bit more like Adam Cole. Now at this stage, one of the tips that I can give is that I actually use the remote play function on the PS4 to stream my gameplay to my desktop. Now what this allows me to do is it allows me to pull up some photo references. So next to my gameplay I will have one or two photo references for the front and for the side of Adam Cole's face, or any core that I'm creating, so that I can try and really nail down the facial features and the way that they're positioned on the head. It's no different to how a 3D artist would create a 3D model, so to try and create a core I think without really good references is kind of madness, and I don't think you're going to get the results that you're looking for unless you do that. So a quick tip would be absolutely take advantage of the remote play and use that function. So making some final changes to the head here, you'll notice that I shrink the upper head down a little bit, and the reason I do that is because the hair that I apply is quite large, so I don't want that to be too large. And then we look at the facial hair options. Now there aren't any fantastic options for Adam Cole in game, but try and get close enough, and then I actually use a custom texture on the sideburns. It was a texture that I had left over I think from a Shibata core that I made, and I just apply them here, blend them in, and it actually worked out fantastically well. So I would really recommend, if you can try and get some sort of fairly default facial hair textures or hairline textures in your arsenal that you can pull out and use whenever you need to. They're really useful and they'll bring your core up a notch, and take it from looking very default into something a little bit better. So onto the body morphing options. I struggle with this a little bit because I think the options are quite limited, so I really do spend a little bit of time here going backwards and forwards, trying to make sure that I've got the best option possible. Once I feel I've got the right body shape or the right body type, I'll go in and piece by piece change those parts until I'm happy with how it looks. Then it's a case of adjusting the height and the weight, and the head shape to make sure that everything is in proportion, and some final adjustments to the body color as well to make sure everything is matching up nicely. Once we've done that, it's then obviously time to move on to the attire. The attire for Adam Cole was quite straightforward. Fortunately for me, he wears just plain black trunks. Things do get a little bit more complicated when we look at some of particularly the New Japan stars, people like Tanahashi and Okada, who have incredibly complex attires, and I think that's a tutorial in itself. But we work through here, we're just adding the basics, the wristbands, the elbow pads and the textures that are applied. So we've got one on the back and we've got the fuse texture that goes on the front here. I had to resize that in the group logo option because I had to cut some of it off because it was a little bit wrong, but we managed to fix it up in game, so no need to go back into Photoshop. We obviously applied the tattoo to the forearm as well of Adam Cole. And whenever you're applying tattoos, another tip I can give is to just drop down the opacity a little bit so that it blends into the skin tone, because you'll struggle to match it when you're either using a photo reference or if you're using Photoshop to create your texture. onto the knee pads, and again just blending in the textures. So we've got the AMA logo which goes on there, and just fade it out a little bit by reducing the opacity, and it just looks a little bit more natural in game. Went through a couple of boot options and found some I was happy with, and it was on to the entrance attire, and Adam Cole is pretty much done. Now this core took me around about 50 minutes in total. Usually it would take a lot longer. Fortunately I had the textures prepared here, but I hope you guys enjoyed this look behind the scenes. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And in the meantime, I'm going to leave you with Adam Cole's entrance and signature and finisher moves, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring. From Florida, weighing in at 210 pounds, Adam Cole.
Oh boy, we're in for a treat tonight. Both of these superstars look geared up and ready to go. The fans have been demanding this one-on-one contest, and here it is. Midsection taking a lot of damage here. He's pulling out all the stops tonight. This match has taken so much out of this guy. He's not going to give up. But man, this has been physical. See it one more time. Yeah, I don't know if I can believe what I saw the first time. Could this be it? I think so. The singles contest on the booker.
Here's your winner, Adam Cole.
That was a big pinfall victory right there. Any way you slice it, that win right there is beyond important. As we close the book on this match, I need to remind everybody just how big of a win this was. Simply amazing.